Welcome to WagerTalk Today, the gold standard of sports betting shows where we talk the talk and walk the walk. It's Monday and we're starting the week with a loaded lineup. Gianni The Greek is here with the Steam Report. Krackman going to bring a Monday Night Football prop. We're going to react to week 4, go over where the books won, where the public won, go over some props and fantasy football winners and losers. And Steve Merril is going to join us to talk Bengals, Broncos, along with MLB playoffs, including Red Sox and Yankees. If you're betting this week, this is where you get the sharpest edge. All right, that's our new intro for the show. Everybody did great submitting some really, really good intros. There were 2 that I really liked. The gold standard of sports betting shows was good, and then talk the talk and walk the walk. But there were a couple notables here, Dan. Somebody said, are you ready for Wager Talk? It's time to bang with Andy Lang. Thought it was a little...
It's the Wager Talk after hours. That's Wager Talk after hours.
It was a touch aggressive, but now Gus Stomper sent that one in. This one was funny. Welcome to Wager Talk Today. Fade this guy. I got a kick out of that one. I got that one.
But and like then, Gianni always says, follow or fade. Hope you cash him, don't trash him. I don't care if you're following or fading. You're watching, baby. Do whatever you want.
It's pretty good. And Mark Valdez had a great one. I kind of know Mark. It's as corny and great as it gets. Welcome to Wager Talk. You know what time it is. It's lock o'clock.
Oh God. I know some Twitter accounts that I'm sure would be really happy about that opening.
It's so funny. So funny. So anyway, thank you guys for all those submissions. They're great. We're going to go with the gold standard and talk the talk and walk the walk. But bang with Andy Lang is an absolute all-timer. So, all right, let's get started with Gianni to go over the Steam report. I saw you laugh. Bang with Andy Lang's pretty damn good. So, how are you on this Monday, Gianni?
Never better, man. We had a great steam room yesterday. Ended up going 10-2 in the NFL, 14-7 week in college football. It's just been amazing. I'm 3 units shy of being up 100 units already in the college football season. Already up 45 units through 3 weeks of the NFL regular season. It's just been that kind of year so far, and it's what I expected. Again, not to tell. But I'm working right now with the sharpest groups I've been with in a long time. And as far as the major sports go, NBA, college basketball, college football, NFL, baseball, I have so much confidence in working with them and being able to filter the information because there's just so much I'm getting that just being able to filter through it, some things conflict. And so far so good, man. And it's September's barely, we're just out of September. So we still have October, November, December. Like the best is still ahead. So I'm just really excited about what's coming up for us.
Nice. Let's talk Steam report. Let's see where the action is. We can start with Monday Night Football. It doesn't look like a whole lot of big line moves. It looks like the money that came in on Denver's probably already been in there. So what are you seeing for tonight?
Yeah, and it's a perfect example of just how tight the NFL betting market is, how difficult it is. And once they have some data under them, the books are extremely confident in their numbers, and you're not going to see big line movements. And that is the reflection of inefficiency. You want to look for markets where the lines are moving significantly. Again, that reflects an inefficient market. When they're tight like this, it makes it hard to beat. Here's what we're looking at with Miami. Miami's look ahead was -2.5. They went to 3 immediately. Back to 2.5, back to 3, back to 2.5, back to 3. So currently sitting at 2.5, juiced. Good two-way action. You would think it would be all one-sided Miami, but that's just not the case because you're looking at 2 0-3 teams. And more importantly, if you look at point differential, the Jets look to be even like they're better. The Jets are 0-3, but they're 2-1 against the spread. So they've outperformed the betting market. They only have a -14 point differential, even though they've lost 3 games. So, chalk up some bad luck, some turnovers, some penalties, and they could be a 1-2 team, a 2-1 team. Who knows? But Miami, they're -39 point differential in their 3 losses. So they have to figure some things out. And I think the market reflects that. Good two-way action on the total as well. Always a little heavier on the over, but nothing really sticking out. In the second game, Cincinnati and Denver, you touched on it. The look ahead on Denver was -6. That got hit immediately to 7. Since then, it's just been sitting at around 7, 7.5, and not getting much one-sided action. Another good balance for the books. That's why they haven't really had to make much adjustment. And you're looking at a 1-2 team in Denver that has a +4 point differential. So again, they're 1-2, but they have a positive point differential. On the flip side, you have a Cincinnati team that's 2-1 with a -33 point differential because they've gotten blown out in that one game. So two very different teams as far as how they've performed heading into this Monday Night Football, but it shows you what the power ratings reflect in the NFL, and that's why we're looking at Denver being such a heavy favorite. The record be damned. The Vegas doesn't care. We kind of saw that in college football where we could touch on that. You look at the rankings and you look at true power ratings, and they just don't reflect each other in a lot of spots. And you were able to take advantage of it, like Alabama on Saturday, where most power ratings had them not way above, but above Georgia. So yeah, I think this is a case of Monday Night Football where two teams trying to figure it out with Miami and the Jets, no one confident in either. And then in the second game, a 1-2 team at home, that's a touchdown favorite. Hard to get attracted to that. But then Cincinnati, again, not world beater either. So I think these are two good games for the books where I don't think they're going to have a need. I mean, they're always going to prefer one side over the other. But because we have to lay 11 to win 10, I think they're going to have good enough balance where regardless of outcome, throw in the teasers, throw in the parlays, throw on the negative EV shit, and they're going to end up turning a profit when the dust settles.
I see the line has already moved on Thursday Night Football. I'm assuming that's because of injuries and such to San Fran. And then there's a line that makes no sense to me on Sunday. I'll tell it to you after because I'm curious if you landed on this as well. So what are you seeing for the Week 5 lines?
Yeah, and another thing that, again, we got to touch on, pay attention to the look aheads because it's gonna look like a lot of times like it's a big line movement, but after the opener today, what they put up today, then pay attention to there after that, what it moves. And since that, we haven't seen, I mean, you expected Dallas because Dallas looked good yesterday. We haven't seen the Jets play yet tonight. So immediately you saw some Dallas money come in off of that look ahead. You saw Houston money come in, Baltimore being faded, which is a rarity, but they were almost a double-digit favorite. Now they're below that key number of 7 even at home against Houston and Seattle. Tampa Bay, Philly went right through them, and Tampa was actually getting public money and a lot of love yesterday, catching 3.5 points against Philadelphia. And you're seeing them getting faded again and Seattle getting some money. So no big movements, kind of what you expect in the NFL. But unless there's key injuries or cluster injuries, you're not going to see much line movement until later in the week when some of these totals get steamed.
It's that Baltimore line. I'm stunned by it. I'm stunned by it. You got Lamar Jackson who's pulled a hamstring. The defense is completely decimated with injuries. I mean, they're playing with backups.
Here's why.
They're playing with backups to the backups.
Right now, power rating wise, I think there may be 5 or 6 teams that would be favored over Baltimore on a neutral field. That's the key here. That it's kind of like I said, record be damned. They're dealing with it in college football with Notre Dame, where Notre Dame, power rating wise, they're a top 5 team, but they're a 2-2 football team still. You know what I mean? And I think that's what you're looking at with in the NFL too. Look at Kansas City. They're a 500 team. They're 2-2, and yet they'd be favored over 25 plus other NFL teams. And that's all going to play itself out as the season progresses, kind of like in college football. That will play itself out. And those phonies will, even though it isn't a big enough season to really get progression and regression towards the mean, there's enough time that those phony teams tend to fall off. And I think we'll see it in college football and we'll see in NFL that, teams like Baltimore are better on paper right now than their record reflects, but they may catch up to it. Same thing we saw with Kansas City, and even look at Detroit. After week 1, everybody gave up on Detroit. Oh, they lost their offensive coordinator, lost their defensive coordinator. This team's done. Now, all of a sudden, they're number 1 power rated pretty much in most NFL, sharps power ratings. So it just shows you how things change NFL week to week. You just can't overreact. That's key, I think, that to have success in NFL, you can't overreact because of the short season and because of all the focus. Like, turn on TV, listen to sports radio. They're just going to talk about NFL. And, with all that analysis, again, that's what ends up happening.
That's why we do right after you, we do the overreactions from the weeks. And I remember week 1 was Detroit's done. They can't survive without their coordinators. Yep. Stick a fork in them. So it's funny. Great way to make money in the markets, though. Take advantage of the people overreacting. So you looking forward to MLB playoffs? Any plays you're looking at series wise or anything in there?
Yeah, I was ready to jump on Detroit right out of the gate. I thought they would be a higher favorite, even though they're on the road. I thought there was a lot of recency bias to that series. Cleveland, they've owned them. Cleveland even swept them in Detroit. They've had no problem with them. So I was hoping to get a little lower price than that. And I didn't bet it at -150. And now I'm looking at -160. So I'm kind of stuck sitting on my hands right there. And the other game that I liked was the Cubs. I like the Cubs at home in a coin flip. I'm hoping that line flips and you get enough San Diego love that maybe I could get the Cubs in game 1 as a dog. But those are the two that stuck out at me. I thought Detroit is a little bit undervalued in the series, and I thought San Diego is going to come in a little bit overvalued in their series with the Cubs. But still, I plan on breaking down the baseball a little deeper tonight.
All right. It's a great Monday. Tell everyone what you have up for clients at WagerTalk.
Indeed. Jump on board. The college football and NFL train's going to continue. We have a lot of season ahead. And today I'll have a package up for the Monday Night Football. Was just waiting to confirm to see whether I'm going to have a 2-pack or just a single play. Right now it looks like a single play. Should be up within the next 30 minutes. Let's just keep rolling, man. Manage your risk correctly, and we'll do some damage. Thanks for having me, and best of luck this week.
Gianni The Greek, everyone, is off to a fantastic start on the spreads and totals in college football and NFL. His plays are up at WagerTalk. All right, let's go ahead and do the overreactions. Dan, I was so happy we had a great one after Sunday Night Football. So we'll go ahead and do the overreactions. We'll talk about where the books won. We'll talk about where the public won. The week 4 we overreacted. I only got 4 of them. The Chiefs, it's amazing, Dan. 1 week the Chiefs are lost. They're dead to the world. Now all of a sudden they're back to being Super Bowl contenders. That's an obvious overreaction. I'm already seeing Cam Ward as a bust, even though we're 4 games in and he has one of the worst coaching situations I can remember for a rookie. The Saints won't win a game this season. I saw that one. When they throw for 126 yards yesterday. And then the Packers are overrated. We're literally 2 weeks away from a talk of an undefeated season from the Packers. And now we've moved into the Packers are overrated. Now, you do have to question the mentality of a team that settles for a tie. Good Lord. All right, let's go to where the books won and where the public won, where the books won. Books won big on the Bills minus the points, Washington, Atlanta, the under, and the Chargers minus the points. Those were big wins for the books. Public did, this Titans team is the ultimate fade wagon right now. Public's taking advantage. Texans minus the points was big. Buffalo and New Orleans under. Chargers and the Giants under, and the Rams minus the points. If you had Rams minus the points, thank your lucky stars. But I guess it's like karma for what happened in the Eagles game. But how the Colts not only did they not win that game, but they didn't cover is truly insanity. There was a long touchdown run that got called back from holding penalty, and then the poor guy drops the ball as he's entering the end zone. It goes out of the back. So just an absolutely crazy finish to that one. But Rams minus the points was big for the public. And let's go to props and fantasy football. Big winners and losers. We got a lot of winners. Kenneth Gainwell took advantage with Jaylen Warren being out. He had a big game. The Falcons rebounded. They finally looked back on track. Bijan, big game. Drake London, big game. James Cook continues to be arguably the best running back in fantasy, and props-wise, he's scoring. He's getting all the work. and they're not taking him off the field in big situations like they did last year. The Lions, Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown looked good. Stephon Diggs, we had a Stephon Diggs sighting, flies over any props totals that you had with him. Puka Nacua, arguably the best wide receiver in football, just taking into account all his quarterback situation. The guy's over 40 catches already. Travis Etienne cemented himself as by far the number one in Jacksonville. Patrick Mahomes looks back, and Ashton Genty had his breakout game. So big props winners. And the losers, Ladd McConkey. I don't know if he's number 3 right now, but he's performing like it. So Ladd McConkey unders continue to hit. Everybody on the Titans is just brutal. There's nothing they can do on offense right now. It's just a fantasy points wasteland, props, unders galore. And Brock Bowers is clearly not 100%, but until further notice, he's either a stay away or a fade. And I just don't know how much information we're going to be getting on how hurt he truly is, but does not pass the eye test at all. So bummer for Brock Bowers, especially on fantasy football teams. All right, let's bring in Crackman. Let's talk a Monday Night Football prop bill. Happy Monday. How was your weekend?
Good. No, okay. Didn't win, didn't lose. Flipping hamburgers over here. That's one of those weekends where you just that one game that it's amazing. I don't even have a losing weekend really, and I'm still mad about certain things in the NFL. It's so hard to beat this NFL, guys. I talk about this all the time. The Rams again, 2 weeks in a row. I don't want to know how much in total they cost me in 2 weeks. I had the Colts, so I had the Colts plus 3.5, and it's another terrible loss. Guy trying to celebrate me. I don't know, lifting up the ball. I got to tell you something. These guys, everything. You have teams losing by 30 points that are celebrating a tackle. Like, it's all about individual achievement. It's not about a team effort no more. There's no, Walter Payton's out there anymore. Just hand the ball to the ref and go up and listen. Of course, you deserve accolades. You just got a touchdown and stuff. But I just sometimes there's just no common sense. There's no really. These guys are all about styling and profiling, and there's just no teamwork. Remember Al Capone and the De Niro role and Al Capone and the Untouchables with teamwork. He's walking around with a baseball bat. First guy in that teamwork got smashed in the head. I mean,
can I defend the Colts wide receiver guy? He wasn't like high stepping into the end zone. Like he was just moving the ball from one hand to the other. He didn't drop it too soon. It wasn't as egregious as some of the other plays that we did. It wasn't as bad.
Didn't he put the ball in the air like I'm number one? Like, wasn't he just holding the ball?
Doesn't everybody kind of do that? It wasn't like Deshaun Jackson,
No, they don't. They scored a touchdown first, then do it. Yeah, no. The answer is no, Andy. They don't. I love you to death. But
trying to defend my Colts guy. I felt bad for him. Felt terrible for him because
idiot.
Yeah, you're the one carrying the baseball bat this morning. I see.
No, and then someone just sends me this video too just now. Todd Furman, who I like, Todd with this video for this guy on a DraftKings show saying you should buy down the college game from 3.5 to 2.5 and lay $1.58 at DraftKings. First of all, who buys points in college football? Second of all, it's the money line's only like $1.70. Yeah, let's lay 2.5 instead of for $1.58. And third of all, the guy said, "Oh yeah, I think I recommend betting this." The guy probably never put a bet in his life, but he looks good on camera. I feel bad for the people out there that have to watch these talking heads on these sites talk about things, and they have no skin in the game. They don't know anything about the analytics of the game. They know nothing. All they know is they look good in a 42 long suit or whatever, and they just look good for the camera. This is men and females. I just can't take it because these poor kids, they love this stuff. They love this stuff, and they say, "Oh my God, yeah, that's a good idea. Let me buy the 2.5." First of all, there's no buying in college football, none on anything. Even in the NFL, I'll tell you right now, the buying is so expensive. Unless you have some shops that you could buy on or off of the 3 for an extra 15, or I'll go 20 cents, then there's no buying the NFL because the 3 and 7 is not worth what it was. I'm going off on rants here. But I just know because I've been doing this, Andy, professionally 30 years. I know the margins and how tight things are, and NFL, how efficient these markets are, and these people have nothing to talk about on air, so they just make up stuff and they say, "Oh, I'm going to bet this." Meanwhile, they got their own cemetery that they buried everybody in. I mean, it's terrible. Anyway, sorry, I don't mean to come off a little salty this morning.
No, you're good. You're good. We got 2 games.
To be honest with you, having a great season. I mean, having an unbelievable college season, winning, making money. I got 2 games tonight. You're right. Go ahead. I'm going to stop talking. I just can't help it.
No, you're good. You're good. I want to do your prop, and then I got a hilarious photo to show you. It's right up your alley. You're gonna laugh your ass off when you see this photo. It's here. But what's your Monday Night Football prop for tonight? What do you like?
So I just went over to make sure the line's still the same. About 10 minutes ago, I'm sure it is. I just actually released it, but it's not going to move. Okay, J.K. Dobbins under rushing yards. It is 65.5. I'm looking at MGM. 65.5. So I think Denver's going to get these running backs more involved this week. So that under 65.5. And listen, I will tell you to get to it now because it will move. I'm going to talk about it on a couple shows today. So I'm sure it's going to go down a little bit. Dobbins under, and I'm going to have another one later on also, Andy, but for the people that WagerTalk. But there's a free one that, to be real blunt, now that I'm thinking about it, I forgot to bet it. I'm going to bet it, but I came in with a head full of steam about a couple subjects. But yeah, Dobbins under. I'm looking at BetMGM right now, which I'm probably going to bet right there. So I'm going to give you guys a minute or two, a couple minutes to bet that. Has not moved. Dobbins under 65.5. So yeah, and I'm going to bet a lot of these props. I release them to the customers first, though. I don't front run customers. I don't give out under 65.5 when I bet under 68.5. That I don't do. And I'm not one of these people that say, "Oh, you could bet this line at ESPN Bet, or you could bet it at a certain sports book." And I don't give out that. I give out an obtainable line. Andy, what was that comment just went by? Someone.
Sports betting is changing. Worst lately is the price hike on NFL teasers. Yeah, DraftKings doing minus 135.
Done. You can't bet it. Don't. You notice, guys, I haven't given out any teasers. You want to know why? I don't think it's fair to give out teasers to you guys. Now, if you're playing with a local, yes, I'm told the local guys in the software still have 6-point teasers at $1.20. But I'm dealing to a crowd that plays the DraftKings, FanDuels, and the big sports books of the world that are new to the United States here the last 7-8 years, and they're price gouging on these. DraftKings was great; they were minus $1.20, and they were getting a lot of action. I'm sure they were making a ton of money on it. But someone said, "Hey, we can make more if we charge $1.35. Let's charge double the juice." So they're charging 75% more juice, 80% more juice on that same bet. So I'm sure they'll beat all these kids up that don't care what they lay. They don't respect the line. They don't respect the market. 6-point teaser. I was betting even money for a decade. Money teasers for a decade, literally. And then all of a sudden, someone said it should be minus 110 for a 6-point teaser. Okay, even minus 20 you can beat, but it cuts into the profits. Minus 135, unbeatable. You cannot win betting 6-point teasers minus 135. Going through the key numbers, it's unbeatable unless you're just a short-term guy. You win 2 and quit for the year or something like that. It's that hard.
Can I want to have this conversation with you because we got time today. I was just having this conversation with one of my betting partners. We're not having a good year. We are down units for the year, coming off of 2 incredible years. But this year, we're down. And I was saying to him, the prices have really made it tough to turn a profit now. Like some of these lines, I'm going to get to the Ryder Cup. I was out in New York. I went there. This is where I got this picture to show you.
I seen you on video yelling at one of the golfers.
Not me. I was in the suite.
Good.
But they had like 40-cent lines. It was like a head-to-head matchup, minus 120, minus 120. It was like it didn't used to be like this. Like even just a few years ago, it didn't used to be like this. But I look at some of these lines in UFC, and you're getting fights that should be pick'ems, and they're minus 200. And then these teasers now at minus 135, and now you throw the tax thing in there. And like, Bill, when is it enough? Like, at what point are we going to get to where everyone just says, this is not only is this not beatable, it's not even fun. Like how much money can you take from us and how much value can you take out of these lines? It's getting to be with these domestic books. It's not a fair fight.
Yeah. It's funny you say that. I'm not going to throw the book under the bus because they're very good to me and they're very good on a lot of lines and they offer a lot of different diversity and there's so many different things they offer. But I noticed they went to minus 115 on props this year on both sides. And I still have to terrorize the line manager and say, why do you guys were 110 for years? And just because people don't really care what they like. That was his answer. I said, you're right. And I'm still going to play. I'm still betting into it. So you're right. Now, what you're referring to is in golf. Golf is used to be minus 110 on both sides of golf matchups and stuff. Are you saying
I know
golf matchups are now 120 both sides? No way.
They were out in New York when I was in DraftKings. They opened up some matchups at 30-cent lines, and while we were watching in real time, they went to 35-cent lines and then 40-cent lines. Yes, that really happened. It was on singles on Sunday. It was crazy. And yeah, Chad, I love this comment. These corporations are greedier than the old school mob bookies ever were.
Listen, I'll tell you right now. Chad is spot on. Spot on. Mob guys know how to massage things, give you a little value for the money. These corporations, man, I'll tell you, they just want to listen. You might be better off just having them use a mask and a gun. Just take the money, get it over with quicker. I mean, that's unbelievable. And you know what? It'll never stop, and it's only gonna get worse. And you want to know why? Because they still get the volume they do. It's because we are so close to the sun here at WagerTalk and these type of shows. And these shows I do a dozen shows a week on different networks talking about smart advantage sports betting, responsible gambling, different things. We're too close to the sun. We represent a little fraction, so tiny you can't even see it on a radar screen, of the sports betting community. It's all these kids in college and these kids that are watching things on TV and they watch ESPN and they go through all these different media sources, murderers row, and then they just have no chance and they don't care, they don't respect, they just fire. So what we know from us being around and me being old school knockaround guy from 30 years ago betting sports with locals, I know what it is, and I know what it is to bet, even with the offshore world in the late 90s, early 2000s. I know what it was juice-wise and how they made lots of money. Everyone was happy. And I've seen these new corporations come in, and they use the excuses they have to overcome these marketing expenses. They got to pay LeBron and all these guys $2 million, $5 million a year, and all these ads everywhere, stadiums everywhere. So they spend all this money on this stuff, and meanwhile, they already have the customer. This is, are you doing it for customer retention? Maybe. Branding? Maybe. I know one thing. Us bettors pay the price. We're the ones that pay in the end by paying. You're telling me about this golf juice. I mean, it's so tough to beat minus 110 lines, and now you want to go to 115, 118, and even 120. It's really, really frustrating that we have to put up with this stuff. But let me be blunt. I'm still going to beat it because I'm dealing with the sharpest syndicate guys in the world. I'm dealing with guys that have a better line than the sports books that you could play in. A perfect example. So now, I just went to go put a bet in, the Dobbins bet. I gave it out to all you guys, and I bet it after. I just bet it just now. So I go to put a bet in, and I admit it, I try to bet thousands and thousands of dollars. So they gave me $740. But I'm happy with the $740. I'm happy with that. But perfect example is if that was such a efficient market, the prop market, then they would take what they would take on an NFL game, which is, 25, 50, 100 times, or whatever you can carry in your backpack, I like to say, at the counter or on the app. So I know I'm still going to beat it, even minus 115 both ways on props. I'm still going to beat it because I'm dealing with guys that are better at putting up the lines than the bookmakers themselves. Matter of fact, they couldn't pay them enough. These companies that run the bookmaking shops What do you think they pay their risk department? Honestly, it's embarrassing. They should pay them a lot more. It's embarrassing. The offshore bookmakers in the late 90s, early 2000s were making double the guys in risk than the legal companies are today over in Jersey and where they have these here at DraftKings too. They have their office here, the risk office here. They deserve to get paid more. There's a lot of responsibility on their shoulders of a public company. So I'm just telling you, we're too close to the sun here. Like I said, we're a very small fraction of what goes on out there. But I'm still going to beat it. And the guys I'm dealing with, we're still going to overcome the juice and stuff. But it does hurt. You start shaking your head and say, wow, what has happened? Like you said, you're having a losing year this year. But what people don't realize out there is mathematically, if you're a lifetime winning, you had a couple of good winning years in a row, mathematically, someone that's losing, if they're evolving and using the same formulas and models, they are still that lifetime 57% capper. If they're handicapping at 51%, well, then guess what? They're going to return to the mean, and now's the time to jump on them. So if that makes any sense for you guys.
No, it does. I appreciate that. Confidence is still there in the reads, and so it's just like we got robbed on a fight last week. We lost on Contender Series, and even Dana White gets up there and is like, "Yeah, the judges got it wrong." Well, the announcer's like, "Yeah, judges got it wrong." Like just stuff like that. But I want to show you this picture. I want to show you this picture before I let you go. All right, so bucket list here, Bill. I got invited to the Ryder Cup, and we had a suite. Okay. This is the suite that was next to the one I was in, the DraftKings VIP Clubhouse. How much money are you down in your DraftKings account to get invited to the VIP suite at the Ryder Cup?
Oh, okay. I don't see it. Was a picture was a photo supposed to be on there?
Yeah. This is a picture of the DraftKings VIP Clubhouse.
All right, I guess
at the Ryder Cup.
My scenes, I might not have my screen set up. It's just orange to me. So,
that's all right. That's all right. Everyone else can see it. So, how much do you have to be down to get invited to that?
Oh yeah. No, you're in big money to get. They listen. They take care of their VIPs for sure. The guys in there are willing to lose, $500,000, $1 million a year. You're going to get invited to Super Bowl suites like that. And that was really cool, Andy. That stuff's unbelievable.
There's a guy that oversees everything in Indiana. Like if you have issues with your account, you reach out to him. I texted him. I was like, why wasn't I invited? He's like, I was like, never mind. I know I'm not invited. So, all right, Bill, what do you have up for everybody on this Monday?
Yeah. So over at WagerTalk, I just pulled it up. Good season here. 62%, 32 unit profit so
nice.
far. We have a 4% play. These 4% plays are 4-1 plus 11.2. It's we have a rare one up there today. And join us over at WagerTalk. Again, go in for the weekly or the monthly package. That's what you want to do. Long term, you'll see the value there.
All right. Thank you, Bill. Great segment today. Bill Krackman, everybody. Always a pleasure. So, all right. Only one play that is up for us. We just got done talking about how tough it is to win. We won last night big. We had 2 props in the Sunday night game. Did absolutely fantastic. So, had a couple frustrating losses earlier in the day, but we capped off the night with big win, and we only have one play tonight that is up. Grab that Monday Night Football play best bet. It's a prop. It's only $15. We're up 50 units last 365 days in props. This is our bread and butter. This is what we do. Number one at WagerTalk in props last year. So, and this year's been pretty good. Football, we're around that 55, 56%. So we've kind of been treading water, but one good play. Join us, cash with us. Really, really love the prop. I think it's mispriced. I think there's a few things that the books are not taking into account with the game script. So one play, one winner tonight, WT.buzz/AL. All right, let's bring in Steve Merril. Steve, we're going to talk some baseball. We're going to talk some Monday Night Football. But first, we did our overreactions for the week here. So I'm curious which ones you like the best. Just 2 weeks ago, the Chiefs were written off. They're done. Now they're all of a sudden back to Super Bowl contenders. That's an overreaction. For 4 weeks in, Cam Ward is a bust. I've seen that start to pop up. I've seen Saints aren't going to win a game this season. They were particularly atrocious on offense yesterday. And then the Packers were 2 weeks removed, Steve. Don't forget, 2 weeks removed from can the Packers go undefeated to now the Packers are, are overrated because they lost to the Browns and then they tied. Which one is your favorite overreaction?
Yeah, I mean, it's still the Packers. We've talked about them a lot each week. It's amazing. They blew a 10-0 lead, dominated most of the game in what was one of the worst scheduling spots ever, as I've talked about numerous times here on the channel. It's one of the reasons we had a best bet on the Browns. One of the reasons I told everybody in my Fade the Public video last week, do not use the Packers in your survivor picks. Do not use them in teasers. And that was the same advice I gave to people this week with the LA Chargers, the Giants. I didn't use the Giants. I wasn't bold enough. Too much uncertainty with the new quarterback. But I told people this is another terrible scheduling spot for the Chargers. And the reason I actually didn't play against the Chargers is I really like them this year. And I still like the Packers. I liked them last night. And they ended up tying still. And that was with a blocked extra point returned. Otherwise, they win the game in regulation most likely. So that's an overreaction. As far as Cam Ward goes, I wasn't expecting a lot from him. He wasn't the best player in the draft, but because everyone has to take a quarterback, you're always chasing your tail. We saw the Browns do it for decades. He's on a bad team, and he could be a good quarterback. We'll never know until maybe he goes somewhere else if they don't ruin him in the meantime. And then the Saints were expected to be the worst team coming into the NFL. They will win a couple games. They'll win 2 or 3 most likely, so that's probably an overreaction. They're not going to go winless. But, yeah, it's amazing to me, Andy, how the Packers and the Commanders, let's not forget, not my Washington Commanders. That was the NFC Championship preview a couple Thursday nights ago. I didn't feel that way. In fact, I really liked the Falcons yesterday. I gave that free to everybody in the Fade the Public video. And you know I love to fade those public dogs. I thought Atlanta was a really good spot coming off the shutout loss. Do the Titans, do we dare back? We don't bear back. We dare back the Titans off the shutout. Look at that, Andy Lang. What are the odds of me saying that on live TV?
Well, we debuted a new open for the show. I asked people to give suggestions, and one of the suggestions was, welcome to Wager Talk. It's time to bang with Andy Lang.
Wow. And they can use the little that's one of my favorite emojis, by the way, because I do reply back to all the comments, is, I love the little, if you type in boom, it gives you that whenever we cash. I love putting boom with the money sign or the happy face with the dollar bill mouth. Yeah, the Titans have been getting barebacked all season, so it was an appropriate comment in hindsight.
That's all right.
Clip that. Don't clip that. This is a family show.
Let's talk Bengals and Broncos tonight. What do you got on this game? This is an interesting one. You got Jake Browning. What's your read on this game?
Good for the NFL doing 2 Monday night games. They're doing this quite often. It's like every other week. I don't know what the game plan is, but I looked at the schedule for October. We have a few more of these double headers. And they got it right. We got the 0-6 combined Jets and Dolphins leading us off with the 1-2 and 2-1 Bengals and Broncos. So combined, the 4 teams tonight, I think, are 3-9 straight up if my math is right. So maybe the experiment's not working. But I like this concept. I don't like the European games, but I do like the 9:30 a.m., the nighttime game. Let's spread it out. Why not? Why have 7 games at 1 o'clock Eastern nowadays? It's becoming more spread out. What I will say, though, is if you say who's 2-1 and who's 1-2, everybody would jump and say the Broncos are the 2-1 team because they are the better team and they're more than a touchdown favorite for that reason. So it's Green Bay or pass, Denver or pass. Just like last night, it was Green Bay or pass because I wanted nothing to do with the Cowboys, but that line was inflated and it did make a difference. Dallas didn't win, but they covered. And I say it's the same thing here tonight once again. I don't want anything to do with the Bengals. As you mentioned, Browning is starting. Burrow is out for several months. What was it, toe surgery, I believe. And Browning didn't look too good. He's the third-year quarterback out of University of Washington. Now the teams have a little time to prepare. I don't expect much from him. But do we really want to lay 7.5 in this game? I could see the Broncos winning by exactly 7. It's a key number. I did mention this in my video for this. And by the way, I did a standalone 2-for-1 special, a deep dive into the Jets, Dolphins, and the Cincinnati-Denver game. So check that out after the show here. It's on WagerTalk TV from a few days ago. I did mention I thought the Broncos make a nice teaser selection tonight, a 6-point teaser, taking them down to 1.5, puts them in a pretty much straight-up win situation. Now, obviously, we have no games left from yesterday to tie that up with if you watched that video earlier in the weekend, as you should have. But now we can look ahead to next week's games. I haven't talked about this anywhere. Some games that maybe qualify as decent teasers. Jets right now getting about 2 points at home against the Cowboys. Cowboys have not stopped anybody this year defensively, and they're coming off a tough game last night, as we've talked about. Jets up to +8, probably make a decent teaser. That's off the board in many spots. My guess would be a quarterback situation there. A lot of 9.5s, so we'll see if those come down lower this week. And also the Lions right now, about an 8.5-point favorite at Cincinnati, who plays tonight, of course. And also Buffalo on Sunday night, an 8-point home favorite against the Patriots, who had a blowout win. That was actually my free play of the day yesterday at WagerTalk.com. So Broncos in a teaser tonight, and now that we're looking ahead to next week, those are some teams you could tie it up with. Oh, by the way, real quick, Andy, last year, first year with Bo Nix, the Broncos were a perfect 8-0 straight up and against the spread as a favorite last year. They won but failed to cover-ish by 8 in that opener this year against Tennessee. And then technically they lost as a 1-point favorite against your Indianapolis Colts. But otherwise, they've been winning by margin. I think 8 of those 9 games have been by 8 points. Actually, every win's been 8 points or more. And 8 of the 9 have been by double digits, or 8 of the 10, whatever it is now. They've been a really good favorite. So once again, Broncos are passed, but a teaser is probably the best option.
Let's move to MLB here. We got playoffs coming up. Of course, the Red Sox and the Yankees, the rivalries. What's your take on MLB playoffs and in particular those teams? I believe the Red Sox are about 5 games behind the Yankees at this point. So what are you looking at in the playoffs here?
It's just always amazing to me, right, that they play 162 games, which is twice as many as hockey plays or the NBA plays. And then they have these quick little, 3-5, whatever game series. They get to 7-game series. It's kind of crazy. And then these are 2 teams that had to play hard through the final day of the season. I mean, Yankees entered the 3-game series this weekend dead even with Toronto for the division title. The Red Sox entered Friday night, the 3-game series this weekend, 1 game up for the wild card. You had the Tigers and Guardians tied for the division, maybe on the outside looking in for the wild card heading into the weekend. After 159 games, it's just amazing to me how tight it becomes. And it's a shame we can't maybe come up with a little bit of a better concept. But the Yankees enter red hot. 9-1 their last 10, 22-8 their last 30. And keep in mind, this is a team that was playing .500 baseball for a couple of months before that. Red Sox 17-13 their last 30, 6-4 their last 10. Found their way in though. 2 teams that are really good against lefties, and I bring that up because on the surface they both have good left-handed pitchers going tomorrow night on Tuesday with Crochet and Fried. Total's at 7 though, and that's such a key number, and it's juiced a little bit to the over. At 7 or less, I think we might see more runs than expected. And yes, starting pitching is the key to the playoffs, but both of these offenses are more than capable. And if you look at some of these pitchers in recent years, I don't think Crochet's come out of the bullpen until about a year ago with the White Sox. He became a starter. He's a guy to be careful with. He's never pitched this late in the season as a starter, this many innings. He's had a nice season, but I wouldn't be shocked if he wears down at some point. And I do think the Red Sox overall in this series hold the pitching edge, or the Yankees hold the offensive edge. So it's probably pretty important that Boston gets game 1. Odds makers are saying that's not as likely, though. They're about $1.20 dog. Yankees right now about $1.35 favorite. Should be a great series, and it is cool to see these 2 teams play in the playoffs.
Steve Merril, were you on that Colts-Rams game by any chance?
I haven't been on either Rams game the last 2 weeks, luckily, so that's fine with me.
All right, so Bill and I got into an argument. I didn't think the guy dropping the ball going into the end zone and the ball, I didn't think it was that egregious. Yeah, it was a mistake, but it wasn't like he was doing some crazy dance or celebration. Like, it wasn't like, Deshaun Jackson, like dropping the ball and stuff. Bill says, no, he's a moron. Where do you stand on it?
It's funny. I saw the William Mary head coach was talking about this at the college level, because a guy got a celebration penalty the other week because he flipped the ball right away and then went to the crowd in the end zone. And he's saying what they teach the players is to bring the ball to the official. This is at the college level. So that is a good way to prevent that from ever happening, I guess, unless you literally fumble. That's a different story. But, yeah, I mean, it's just like run to the official. What would happen, Andy, in the NFL if you run up to the official and you spike it right in front of him? That would be very interesting. I mean, you're allowed to spike it in the NFL. Would that be taunting? Can you taunt the official? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, you can taunt the official. No, I don't know. Someone needs to explain how, if a guy flips the ball and it's not in the right area, or if he flips it towards a player, that's a penalty. But if there's an interception, the entire defense can sprint the entire length of the field, get in a pose in the end zone, and that's perfectly fine. I don't understand why one is a 15-yard penalty is a backbreaker.
Yeah, as you know, I grew up as a huge Redskin fan in the early 80s during their Super Bowl era. And as you probably recall, the Fun Bunch came around Super Bowl 17, Super Bowl 18. And for those viewers that are under 40, they probably don't ever know about it. But Google the Fun Bunch, Redskins, Super Bowls, whatever. they would form a circle. They do the swing that, the high five, which was a great. It wasn't taunting the other team, and it was cool. They dropped the ball. I mean, it was awesome. They had the Smurfs. So I've grown up with that, just loving a good celebration. And the college football stuff's the worst. Like, they're allowed to shoulder bump, but if they hug, I think it's a penalty. So that's why they all do this shoulder bump. It's like, hey, look, we have a play clock, right, for a reason. So if it's milking it, delay of game. If you're getting in a guy's face and doing that, maybe. But even that, like, I don't care. It's like the Mutombo thing got outlawed, right? It's like, who cares? He's waving his finger. It's like, what's the problem?
Of all the things in the game, like, really, that's like who? Exactly. By the way, who's against celebrations? what fan at home is like?
I know. Is it? And it's what's funny is like arena football and the lesser leagues, they embrace betting, they embrace celebration, because they need to. So these high and toddy big time leagues like the NCAA and the NFL are too good for fun. The NFL, the not for fun league, right?
The not for fun league. They should do it. Award somebody for the best dance of the week, the best celebration.
And what do they always show on the highlight reels? They score and they do a creative, like the dice roll with the football is one of my favorites. They show it all the time, so it kind of tells you that people want to see it, right? If it's on the highlight.
Absolutely, Chad Johnson. Everybody's seen Chad Johnson celebrations. Oh well. All right, Steve. What do you have up for everybody on Monday?
So Monday's kind of quiet time, right? Because baseball playoffs start tomorrow. We got the 2 Monday Night Football games, but I've got 2 advanced NFL best bets. First time I've done this all year for next week. I love these 2 games. I think the lines will move, so get them early. And it's also the last chance, I believe, tonight on Monday to get the 1-year all-access instant $811 discount. That works down to $3 a day, about $1 a play for every football, baseball, basketball, college, and pro best bet I release for the next 365 days and nights. And, if that's not good enough, a bonus 25% coupon that you can use every day for anything else you buy for the next 365 days and nights. Now, look, you're going to get every football, baseball, basketball best bet I release. But how about one of Andy Lang's golf best bets, one of his props in the NFL, basketball and baseball, 25% instant discount, MMA, anything else you want to buy for the next year. It's a fantastic special. It expires tonight. There's no promo code needed. Check it out, Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com, and get there quicker, WT.buzz/SM.
Steve Merril, great work. Can't wait to talk to you next week. Steve Merril, everyone, over at WagerTalk.com. All right, let's do all around the world. We'll get a couple free props here for everyone. So, Jets and the Dolphins. I like Braylon Allen over 19.5 rushing. This opened at 17.5. It's already moved up to. I haven't made this an official client play, and I think it's just because I got a small sample size. But this Jets and Dolphins teams, they're bad against the run. And I just feel like the Jets and the Dolphins are going to run a lot. I like Braylon Allen over 19.5. He wasn't used a whole lot in the first 2 weeks, but he got over this total last week. And I think it's just going to be a lot of running from Breece Hall, Braylon Allen, and Justin Fields included. So Braylon Allen over 19.5. You could also look at Ollie Gordon from Miami. I think he had 9 carries last week. He flew over his total. So I would look at running plays in the Jets and Dolphins. And then Bengals and Broncos. Here's another rushing prop. Bo Nix over 5.5 rush attempts. He has 19 rush attempts this year. 2 games, he's had 8. Don't forget, kneel downs are included as rush attempts. So if they're up and he's last on the field, you could get a sneaky couple of attempts. But yeah, I like this. But I like Bo Nix to get over the rush attempts. Last time he played Cincinnati, he had 7 for 31 yards. So. All right, guys, that's going to do it for us. Great Monday show. My best bet for tonight is a prop. Of course, it's a prop. It's all I play in the NFL. I think it's the most beatable lines. So our best bet is up tonight, coming off a really nice 2-0 night in Sunday Night Football. Cash 2 props on Jordan Love. This is another quarterback prop tonight. So join me for another winner at Monday Night Football. We're 2-1 on Monday Night Football, so hoping to move this to 3-1. Should be a great night of football, and I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. It's $5 Tuesday. Hit the like button and make sure you leave us a comment on the way out. And if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, what are you doing? We're almost at 220,000 people that are subscribed to the channel. You get notified on all breakdown videos, all of these shows when they start live. And don't forget, Wager Talk YouTube Insiders, WT.buzz/insiders. It's only $2.99 a month. You get a $5 coupon at the beginning of each month, along with some really cool special content. Thanks for joining us. Good luck on all your bets tonight. Remember to bet responsibly. See you tomorrow. Take care.